This is the fairground where the fair is held. Every year about this time, this becomes a place of work and excitement, for they're getting ready to hold the fair. Here, the fun of the fair is in the making. All the shows and rides and make-believe of the Midway. Here, too, from far and near, farm folks are bringing in the products of the harvest, the choicest of their animals, the finest of the things that are grown on the farms. Here at the Olsons' farm, they're getting ready for the fair, too. Into the truck goes one of the calves that Johnny Olson has raised. Each of the boys is taking his finest calf to the fair. This is Johnny, and this is bigger brother Bob. Sister Ann is going, too. She's taking her 4 pigs. Mrs. Olson is ready to start. But first, she must see what Mr. Olson is taking to the fair. It's a sample of his corn, the very finest ears. Everyone ready? It's time to go. And now they're off with their corn, their pigs, and their calves to have a day of work and of fun at the fair. Here in the big cattle barn on the fairground, folks are at work early, tending and grooming their cattle. Bob and Johnny are there early, too. They're getting their calves ready for the show. They comb and brush the calves' coats until they are smooth and sleek. The boys want the calves to look their best. Over here, Ann is busy grooming her pigs. She powders them all over to make them look whiter. See how spotlessly clean they are. But now, there's time to go sightseeing. Johnny goes first to see the fish. Say, these bass would make good fishing, if only they were in the creek back home. At the 4-H Club show, Ann stops to see the model rooms. These have been made by the 4-H Club girls. Brother Bob is interested in the butterfly collections. Here's a beautiful case of butterflies and moths. This is one of the many exhibits made by the 4-H Club boys. Ann and her mother like to see the home canning show. Here are rows of fine canned fruits and vegetables, but Ann thinks her mother's canning is just as nice. What's this? Homemade cakes. The judge is deciding which one of them is best. First, she feels the cake. Then she tastes it. Judging cakes ought to be fun. Here in the grain show, Mr. Olson is watching while the judge decides which farmer has the best corn. The judge feels the weight and shape of the ears. Then he looks at the evenness of the rows of grain and the size and shape of the kernels. But surely none of the corn is quite as fine as Mr. Olson's. It's time for lunch. Most of the visitors at the fair have a quick bite at one of the lunch stands. And a foot-long hot dog looks mighty good to these boys. But here at the 4-H Club camp, where many of the farm boys eat, they get fried chicken with all the trimmings. Other fairgoers like to picnic on the grass like this. Bob still has lots to see. This is a jet plane. Wonder what it would be like to fly it. Here is a tractor. It's much like the one Bob's father has. He knows how to drive this all right. Say, listen to the band. It's time for the parade. The parade is put on by the farmers' clubs from all over the state. This float was made up by one of the 4-H clubs. Now at the grandstand, the races are beginning. A car gives the starting signal, and here come the racers down the track and away. Here they come up the backstretch. And Bob gets there just in time. They're into the curve. They're going into the home stretch. And here they come across the finish. The race is over. Now it's time for the calf show. Bob and Johnny are putting the finishing touches on their calves. Johnny polishes up the horns till they fairly shine. And Father, of course, stands by. Now the boys take their calves to the arena where the show is beginning. Into the big, shadowy arena, many other boys and girls are leading their calves. Here come Bob and Johnny. They take their places in a long line. The judge is to choose which among all these calves is the best. Bob and Johnny hope he'll choose theirs. Up here, the folks are looking on. Now the judge is coming down the line. He looks at each calf closely with a practiced eye and quickly sees the best and the weakest points. Now he orders the doubtful calves out of the show. Too bad. Bob loses out. But what about Johnny? He's still in line, and now the judge wants to see his calf in the open. He looks at Johnny's calf very carefully. But what's this? Here's Johnny back in line. Well, it looks like he has a winner. Now, the judge is picking out the champion of them all. It takes careful work to choose the calf with just the right size and build and weight and firmness. One by one, the judge ranks the calves and sends them back to their proper places in the line. At last, the choice is made. The judge's work is done. He has picked the winners. Well, the champion's blue ribbon goes to a girl. Johnny gets a ribbon, too. His calf is a winner. Now the day's work is over, and it's time for fun. The gates to the Midway open on 100 ways of having fun. There are shows and games of every kind. And, best of all, a thrilling ride on the giant Ferris wheel. Here they go, quickly into the seat with the bar fastened tight to keep them in safely. And now the wheel turns. Up, up, high in the air. And this is how it seems to ride the big Ferris wheel. And Now for a ride on the whip. This is how it seems to ride on the swooping, whirling whip. Too soon the rides are over. And too soon all the fun comes to an end. But our friends are very happy. They've had a wonderful day at the fair.